So the Bihar government has come up with the report on caste census. There were many legal challenges that it crossed, and now many other states are demanding that we are going to have our caste census as well. What implications it would have politically? What are the challenges to the conducting of the caste census? The arguments in favor of it and against. Everything will be discussed from the perspective of this examination. We are also going to discuss about the caste system. What is it? Also, do not worry about making notes because I provide the notes through my Telegram channel by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any questions regarding this examination, you can talk to me on my Instagram. I will, on the basis of today's class, will also provide you a mains-based question. So if you're interested, you can contact me on my Instagram and you can send me the answers on an official number that I will provide you. All right, so let's begin and talk about the news. After the caste census report, it has been published in Bihar, many other states such as UP, where socialist parties have reigned for years. They are also demanding for a caste census. Now, for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections and state assembly elections, it is going to speak out for itself. First, we have to understand what is the caste system. The Manusmriti, which is a literature of the Dharma Shastra tradition, it has cemented the caste system in our society. It's very unique to Hinduism actually, the caste system. Earlier, there was not a lot of rigidity when it comes to changing caste. A person, on the basis of their occupation, they could be belonging to any guild or a caste. If they changed their occupation, on the basis of that, their caste also used to change. But now, as the time went by, the Brahmanical society order or the social order rigidified it to an immense level. And Manusmriti has outrightly called out, social hierarchies and women in such a negative light that we need to make sure that our India follows the constitution and not Manusmriti in implicit terms. So Manusmriti talks about Brahmins, priests or teachers. They have emanated from the head of the Brahma, the eternal deity. Then Kshatriyas, they came from the arms of the Brahma. They are warriors or rulers. Then Vaishyas from the thighs, farmers, traders and merchants. Then Shudras from the feet, who are laborers, and Dalits, these are street sweepers, etc. And they were not even considered to be a part of Brahma from any perspective. So yes, it has been outrightly demeaning to the society as a whole. And I will tell you about certain shlokas as well. And I have got them from a credible source. Do not worry about the source, where Manusmriti has talked ill about Shudras, women, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has burned it for this very reason. So Manusmriti is the law of the Manu, who is considered the first among the sons of Brahmaji and as the first progenitor of the world. Also, this was composed sometimes between the 2nd century before Christ era and 3rd century Christ era or Common Era. It is written in shloka verses, as in it is in shlok verses. Whatever has been translated, it has been given here right now. Certain very demeaning and controversial shlokas are as follows. Chapter 8 of Shloka 21 of the Manusmriti says, when a Shudra interprets the law for a king, his realm sinks like a cow in mud as he looks so helplessly. Second one, chapter 8 of Shloka 129 says, even a capable Shudra must not accumulate wealth because he can harass Brahmins. Then chapter 8 of the Shloka 371, when a woman becomes unfaithful to her husband, the king should have her devoured by dogs in a public square frequented by many. As a child, she must remain under her father's control, as a young woman under her husband's, and when her husband is dead, under her son's. She must never seek to live independently. There is more. It is the very nature of women here to corrupt men. On that account, prudent men are never off guard in the presence of alluring young women. This has been the basis of different sorts of discrimination since eternal times. If I go back to like 3000 years, since then, this has been reiterated in the minds of the people time and again, how we must be discriminatory towards a section of the population based on their caste, based on their gender. And we all can agree to it that a country such as India does not have place for shlokas such as these. Moving on. Yes, the P2I batch, on a lighter note, P2I batch It is being launched from 10th of October. This is a silver. Then we have gold and platinum batch. According to the need of your own preparation, you can take admission in English, Hindi or English. Silver batch is for UPSC 2024, 1 year. Then you have gold, then you have platinum. As in, of course, the silver batch can be used for 2025 as well. It will be valid for 18 months because, and then you have many other things here. If you haven't taken admission in any one of the classes, make sure you do it because we have, not only the GS covered, but CSAT, language papers, ethics, essay, everything is covered over here. And this is made available, just the starting point of it is 23,999. If you're going to take admission, please use the code PDLive. Let's move ahead. What is caste-based census? Caste-based census is basically the tabulation of the population or of the population on the basis of the caste people are following in rural as well as urban areas. Okay, and the caste has remained a premise for discrimination. This is an unsaid rule, of course, said as well as unsaid rule. We all may think that right now India does not discriminate on the basis of caste, but there are subconscious bias in everybody's mind because since the very beginning we are in India, we have been brought up in a certain way to think about people on the basis of uncommonality we have amongst ourselves. Most of the time we are stereotypical, most of the population, and if you have reached to a point that you are not stereotypical anymore and you do not have any subconscious bias, then you are doing great. For people, those who haven't, the population is much larger, so we have to strive to become really bias free from the conscious as well as subconscious mind, and this is important. But there are certain things that we have to regulate. We cannot, on the basis of caste only, build our politics. This is something we have to regulate. So caste-based census, the first census in India to include data on caste was in 1881. Then from 1931 to until 1941 also it was like dropped, the conducting of the census on the basis of caste, because the British did not have enough amount with themselves after the war that they could undertake this huge exercise. 1931's data is the actual data that we have been using for providing OBC reservation. Caste-based data was collected but not published because of the sheer lack of money. The UPA government conducted SEBCs in 2011 but did not publish it again, and the population of OBC was 52%, that was recorded in 1931 caste census. There is a mandate from the Constitution of India according to Article 340 which authorizes the appointment of the commission. There should be a commission that will investigate upon the difficulties that is being followed by the SEBCs, what difficulties they are living in, and also to make recommendation for the union as well as the state government if they can do something for the people who are being discriminated upon on the basis of caste to improve the condition of the socially and economically backward classes. Now the Bihar caste survey has come to the light, and approximately 13.07 crore people are living in Bihar, out of which 36% are extremely backward and 27.1% are other backward classes. Now this adds up to 63% of the total population of Bihar. That means 63% of the total population of Bihar are considered either backward or extremely backward. The survey shows that Yadavs had the largest share of population at 14.27%. Now why is caste-based census necessary? First, we have to understand that a government makes policies on the basis of the needs of the citizens. Every section is different when it comes to their needs. If the demography will be filled with upper caste or economically very forward people, their demands will be different. And if it is comprised of educationally, socially and economically backward caste, then their needs will be different. So in order to fulfill those needs, and the government should keep in mind that we have to fulfill the needs of all according to welfareism policies, the socio-economic and caste census is done on that basis only. And socialist parties have been getting a lot of support on the basis of what they have been doing for these castes which have never gotten the benefit of the development of the country. So this is the necessity, the basic necessity of the caste system. Now how did it all come together for Bihar? On June 1st, 2022, Nitish Kumar, he declared that all the parties, 9 parties, which included Bihar BJP unit, they unanimously decided that they will go ahead with the caste census. Bihar used its own resources and rupees 500 crore from its contingency fund of the state to conduct it. So first phase was from January 7th to January 21 in 2023. Total number of households in Bihar were counted. Then comes the second phase, which was the final one that started from April 15th. This collected data on people from all caste, religion and economic background and the number of family members who are living in and outside the state. Everything was collected. Then the new phase was slated to wrap up on May 15th, the second final phase. But it was stopped midway after Patna High Court put a stay on it. Bihar government approached the Supreme Court and said that please stay this particular order of Patna High Court, but it was already scheduled to be heard on July 3rd in Patna High Court. That is why Supreme Court said, no, I cannot do that. So what was the basis on which legal challenges were posed to this survey? First, two basic things were there. First was it violated a citizen's fundamental right to privacy. That means what caste do you follow, what economic status you have, it should not be for all to know. But here the Patna High Court said, no, we can understand from a perspective that although right to privacy is a fundamental right, but it can be compromised on certain grounds. If the government needs it to formulate a policy, then there is no problem. When it comes to security, the Bihar government assured with some evidence that we are taking care of making the data leak proof. So Patna High Court was okay with that. Then comes second challenge. State had no power to carry out such a survey. And this was cited with the entry 69 of the union list in the 7th schedule, in which it was written that it is the exclusive privilege of the center or the union government to conduct a census. According to Article 246 of the Constitution, it is the Parliament's power to exclusively legislate on any of the matters that are enumerated in List 1 in the 7th schedule. But entry 45, the Bihar government says, of the concurrent list is similar to entry 94 of the union list, which confers the powers to collect statistics for verifying details to both the state and the union government to achieve the economic and social planning goals which are listed under entry 20 of the concurrent list. So on the basis of that, the Patna High Court said that I am giving it a go ahead. This is valid for to be conducted. So now what does the report tell us? The report says that the OBCs and the extremely backward classes, EBCs, they constitute more than 63% of the population of Bihar. If we talk about the upper or the forward caste as they are put, it is 15% for them. And do you know that 85% of the population of Bihar is under reserved category. Now another point will come here, that there is a point that is coming. Jitni abadi utna hak. That means the more populous a section is, the more right it would have. Now this can have implications over the population stabilization and control policy. So this has to be regulated in that particular sense. Also, backward class here, Yadavs, they are the highest constituents, 14.26%. Then we have Kushwahas at 4.21%, Kurmis at 2.87%, and Banya 2.31%. Then we have extremely backward classes with Kevat, Malla, Teli, Nai, Dhanuk, Gangota, then Chandravanshi, Nonia. These all are the extremely backward classes. Scheduled caste, they have Chamar, Mochi, Ravidas, Charmkar, then Dusar, Dhari, Darahi, Mushahar, Pasi, Mehtar. Then unreserved category, Brahmins are 3.65%, Rajputs are 3.45%, then we have Bhumihars 2.87%, and finally we have Kayast, and this is what the report has suggested. Now, the thing is that it will have a lot of implications in the upcoming state legislative assemblies as well as the Lok Sabha elections. The parties such as Mulayam Singh Yadav's party's SP in Uttar Pradesh, then we have in Bihar Lalu Prasad Yadav's party in Bihar, Nitish Kumar's party in Bihar. By the politics of identity, they have continued to gather a huge support in their own states, and this will have implications. This will definitely have implications, because if they are getting a huge support on the basis of what they are presenting to the population, that That means the population, the major of the populace who are thinking that this government is doing something for me, they're acknowledging my presence, they're calling me other backward class or extremely backward class, means they will do something for me. And this is a, this is a clamor for support, political support. And this is okay, this is completely fine. If a section of the population is getting help by the government in the right ways, then it's not wrong. What wrong would be if that is the only premise to develop a government, to establish a government. So we have to ensure that all the factors, welfareism, not for only just the extremely backward class and backward class, but scheduled caste and scheduled tribes is also there. Another thing is that we have to ensure that it does not exaggerate the division that is already existing in the politics of India. What will happen if caste oriented politics start to take place? More regional issues and other sort of development issues will not be considered a part of the politics anymore. So first that has to be taken care of. This presents the GDU RG with an opportunity for a renewed backward class mobilization. And this comes at a very important point. It will increase the OBC quota. There is also a question on the Indira Sawhney case that will it increase the OBC quota beyond 27%, and for a quota within the quota for EBCs. That means under this 27% only, what kind of quota and on what basis the quota should be provided for EBCs. Also, will it really infringe upon the meritocracy system? That is also another problem, because the Justice Rohini Commission, which has been created to understand the socially and economically backward classes since 2017, did submit the report this year only, but the recommendations have not been made public. And it will reopen the long-standing debate over the 50% ceiling that was in the landmark judgment by the Supreme Court in the Indira Sawhney case. That means give reservation, not a problem, but the breach of 50% of the total reservation, as in for SCs, STs, OBCs and every downtrodden class, it should not go beyond 50%. So again I say, jitni abadi utna hak. The more the population is, the more the share in the development. Will this be called into question? And the Supreme Court has time and again tried to make it not breach this particular ceiling of 50%. There are arguments against the caste census. First of all, there will be repercussions. Repercussions as in, if we talk about in politics, I have already told you that it will become more important. Caste-based census and caste-oriented politics will become more important than other issues. What about religion? Then there is a division, there are many sorts of division. Division within division and division above division. So it will have implications on that. If we talk about the welfare politics, how will we decide what kind of share will go to what kind of population and which kind of EBCs? How do we decide which EBC should be deserving what percentage of reservation? So this is what we have to understand. Then caste is also context specific. It is not so that once reservation has been given, it doesn't mean that the people who are belonging to SCs, STs or traditionally as they were considered underprivileged, they will be accepted by the society. This has been proven time and again. It has been pointed out through a survey that it is less likely for a person to be called for interviews if they belong to a particular category, even if they have the correct qualification, because there is a subconscious bias. So how will the society accept people just on the basis of economic upgradation and not social reform that should begin from the school life itself? Then we have lack of trust and clarity. On what basis the socio-economic census is being conducted? And new caste, if they start coming to light, if new category of caste should come to light, will there not be a complete casticization of every place of work, place of school, as in your caste will become much more important than any other thing if we continue to do caste-based politics. This is what the arguments are against. What is the favor? I will tell you. First of all, we have to understand that in policy making, it is very important to know about the fraction of population which is getting discriminated by. And there is another section of population that is privileged among the underprivileged, if you understand what I mean. There is a class of people that is privileged among the underprivileged, means as compared to other sections, they are doing much greater. So the government will have to decide which population part we need to strive for the betterment. So this is a good point. Another good point is that welfareism and constitutional mandate that has been given by our constitution according to Article 340, this will get a huge boost. Another thing is that as a society, we will start acknowledging, yes, on the basis of caste, nobody should be discriminated against. Nobody should not have a right to rise, a right to uplift themselves economically. So these are the various points in favor of it. Now you have to write this answer. What is the importance of caste census in 150 words? You have to send it to me. You can contact regarding this on my Instagram. And if you are already a subscriber to my Telegram, you can answer me there as well. Thank you so much for watching.